Okay.
Awesome. Welcome to the Stand Up Speakeasy. I'm your host, Sareth Ney, and every episode I bring a comic from all over the country to be my guest. And for this comic, I met him at the High Plains Comedy Festival open mic. Without further ado, welcome Jared Chandler. How are you, bud?
Hey, good Sareth. How are you? Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Yep, it was a fun time there, and I had to redeem myself because I bombed there when I went on tour one time. So I'm glad they
Oh yeah.
liked me. Yeah. But the bad thing was my camera like froze up in the middle of the set, so all I just have is the audio, and I threw it on my SoundCloud.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Nice. That's
How was
cool.
your How was your experience at the High Plains when we first met?
Good. Yeah, I really like. So I haven't been featured as a performer there yet, but hoping to be one day. But right now, I'm just volunteering there, and I really enjoy it. Um, yeah, it's really cool. I just really love going there, and it's like one of the best festivals. I haven't been to a ton, but from what I can tell, it's probably one of the best ones there is. And it's so cool because you volunteer and you get to do like a handful of shifts, just working one of the shows, and then you get a festival pass so you can wander around, check out whatever shows you want. And I always like to do the mic while I'm there too. So it's a good time.
Heck yeah, dude. Yeah, I only went that one day, and then I just went and saw Katrina Davis across at the High Dive, and then I went and saw the Fine Gentlemen's Club to end the night, and
Oh,
that's good
cool.
stuff.
Yeah, they're the best. They're so good. I love their show.
Oh yeah, big time. And so you have an infectious smile, and that's what drew me to you. Because like I was like, he must be a comic, and one of the friendly ones. So I'm glad that we got to meet at Mutiny, and yeah, so you're one of the hottest up and comers in the Denver comedy scene. I see. So
I'm on my
what's it
way.
like in what's it like in the Denver comedy scene?
It's really good. I really like it. I'm originally from Greeley, which is about an hour north of Denver. But I always knew I was going to live in Denver, and I always knew that, uh, I was going to move there and work there. I still produce a show up in Greeley. I do that every Thursday at Stella's Pinball Arcade and Lounge. But I really like it because there's a lot of opportunity there, but there's a lot of really talented people. So it just inspires me to get better, and it inspires me um, to work with a lot of cool people. So it's been really good. There's lots of clubs. There's lots of stage time. So I like it a lot.
For sure, most definitely. And I I've only done Greeley once, which was I did a syntax with Tobias, and so
Yeah.
yep, he's a good fella.
Yeah, that's a
And
good one. Yeah.
I love
Um,
how you describe the. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna ask you. So you live in Florida?
Yep,
Okay. Are you based out of Florida and you just travel here sometimes?
just once a year
Oh,
to
okay.
do it. Yep, just
How,
July.
yeah, for the Pueblo Festival.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool. How'd you arrange that since you live so far away? And
it
why'd you
was
choose
in.
Pueblo?
It was a festival that was by accident. Because I was a concert journalist in Los Angeles first, and then I moved back home to Colorado after my apprenticeship was done, and I read about all the local bands, and I said, hey, and I interviewed all the comics on my podcast while I was doing an open mic there at the downtown bar, and all the Colorado Springs comics would come down and do jokes, and every once in a while we'd have like a Denver comic or something. And I said, hey, I'm moving to Florida. I just need three bands to do this one night only show to send me off properly because of my past. And they're like, all right, we all went in on this because I tagged one member of each band. I didn't know who was going to say yes or whatever. I'm like, well, I guess we'll just turn this into a 3 night event, and it turned into a festival. I'm like, well, what are we going to call it? And I talked to my
Hmm.
friend Jeremiah, which was in a metal band. He was like, let's call it Sareth Fest. And the name was Sareth Fest was like an original name from the apprenticeship that I was doing out in LA. And so it started off in a screening room out there. So and then it resurrected from Jeremiah. And it was pretty cool to name it that, I guess. And I tried to change the name, but they didn't want to, so it stuck.
Nice. That's awesome, dude. Very
Yeah.
cool. How many years have you done it?
11 is this year in Colorado, and 4 in this year in Daytona. Yep.
Oh, wow. Cool.
So all my friends are like very they just want the shirts and stuff, and whoever I can bring along, I can bring on. But yeah, so I save up for it, and it's a whole lot of fun.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So but yeah, I loved how you described Greeley, which is Cal Late in the Oasis.
Yeah, that's just it's kind of a silly little stereotype because most of the cows are not in the city, but you might see one in someone's yard every now and again. But yeah, I mean it's growing a lot, and there's a lot of people moving there a lot, like every year. So there's a lot more of a demand for stand up, I think, and um, it's nice because it's unique. It's like it's still small and it's still kind of separate from our neighboring cities. So you still do have like farms and more rural areas surrounding Greeley, but uh, there's still plenty of people who live there that need entertainment. So
Big time, most definitely, and I love it there. It's like very interesting because it smells like cows and stuff. So it's
yeah,
good to
if you go
stand
at the right time, yeah, it sure does.
Indeed. So you've been a comedy staple across the state, and you kind of remind me of myself because that's what happened when in Florida. It's like I became a Florida staple. So how do you like what was the grind? What is the grind like in Colorado? What are your favorite places to perform in?
Well, I think it's different for everybody, but for me, like I moved to Denver in 2021, so I feel like I'm still, uh, I'm still getting like still digging my heels in a little bit to the Denver scene and like the surrounding area. But like for a long time, I would do just any performance opportunity I could get in Greeley through school. Like I was going to UNC up there and stuff, and I would do like talent shows and like events and like I'd go to Fort Collins a lot, and I would do the Hody's mic up there for a little while, and then and just any shows I could get up there. Excuse me, but in Denver, like I love doing. There's like my personal favorites. I like doing Wide Right for the mic. I like doing Rise, which is tonight. I love My Room, obviously, in Greeley every Thursday. So that's great. That's great. A great workout for me. But it can be hard. Like I'm driving an hour every Thursday up to Greeley to do the show and driving back, and booking a weekly is not very easy. But it's really fun, and I get better by having that consistency. So that's been really helpful for me. And there's just it's great because a lot of people come here and a lot of people travel here to do shows. So there's a lot of opportunity. Like if you're good and you work hard, like it shows. It pays off because we're not oversaturated. We're not Austin. We're not Chicago. We're not any of the LA or New York because I feel like your voice is harder to be heard if you live in a bigger city. So living here with so many talented people coming through, like it's easy to book really great people on my show, but it's also really to show what you're worth. And if you work hard and you produce and you contribute value to the scene, then you'll get booked. Like if you keep showing up and being professional. So.
Big time. It sounds like we're so a lot alike because I have to drive an hour in each direction to do 5 minutes of stage time. So it's like, but it's totally
Oh,
worth
really?
it. Yeah.
What
There's like
part of Florida?
Palm Coast, which is like an hour from like Daytona, an hour from Orlando, like an hour and a half, and an hour from Jacksonville. So, and there's like
Okay.
probably one mic on a Sunday. So
Huh.
it's a hit or miss here in town, but and then that's why, like you said, you got to bring value to everyone. Like interview comics, like respectfully, and don't
Yeah.
let them get out of wild and regret what they have to say on something like on a podcast and photographing them for free or doing stage time for free, even if it's a showcase. It's like because we know we don't get paid for this, so we just do it for fun.
It's very collaborative for sure. And like you said, like that's something I enjoy. Like I recently started my own podcast called Stretch Yourself, and it's about stretching beyond your comfort zone. So I feel like it's a good theme where we get to learn a lot and we get to talk a lot about, and it's good for, I interview comedians, but I also interview like artists and filmmakers and stuff. So that's great for me. And it's great for the creative scene. But then the show, yeah, like I take photos every week for free for for the comics for anybody who wants them, and I just share those with anybody because those photos are valuable to a lot of people, and it makes me feel good because especially if they're good enough to be used by people, and it also is good for them because now they have a new photo of them doing stand up, and that they can use that for promotional stuff, like whatever they need, especially new comics who may not have a lot of those. So yeah, it's good. It's collaborative, and we all need each other to get better and to grow. And no comedian gets good on their own and gets stage time by themselves. Like we're all doing our own thing, but we all need each other to give each other stage time and to help each other get better. So
Absolutely. Teamwork makes the dream work, for sure.
right. Yeah. Totally.
Indeed. So you done the Comedy Fort in Fort Collins too, and that club is pretty awesome. I've seen like Sam Talent's roast on there, and it's just a beautiful stage. So
yeah, it's one of my favorite rooms.
Heck yeah, it used to be the old Hoties. I remember I used to cover a show. I drove all the way up there to cover a show once as a concert journalist, and so it was a bunch of like Fort Collins or musicians. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's a great room. It's got a lot of history. Yeah, when they changed it over to the Fort, like it made me really excited. And I don't get up there as often as I want to, and I'm trying to do it more. But every time I do, I'm happy that I did. For the mic or for a show or whatever. It's one of the best rooms in the country, for sure.
For sure, absolutely. And I see still has Pin Bar Arcade and Lounge, like when you're a photo, like because we're friends on Facebook and stuff, and you take really great photos, by the way.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I've been working hard on them, and I've been getting better, and I practice every week. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a nice little side hobby for me, side creative work for me to get better at. So I've been enjoying that for sure.
Most definitely. Indeed. What kind of camera do you use?
I got a Nikon Z50 in a kit, and it came with like a small little 16 to 50 millimeter lens. And then I used that for about a year before I upgraded to it's a 50 to a 250 millimeter lens. And it's a lot heavier duty, but it was a pretty affordable price. So I made the move on that. And then that changed the game for sure. Cause then I can be standing in the back of the room and hit the stage, like get all the way up and get a clear shot. So that's been great. So yeah, I really enjoy that camera.
Awesome.
It's been working for me.
I bought a used one from KEH, and it was like $60. It was like a Canon 20D.
Okay.
So, yep, and I use like a 50 millimeter on there, and I'm like, because I'm pretty close, and it helps with the low lights. And
yeah, definitely does. Yeah.
Indeed.
That's cool.
Sure. Awesome. So you ran through your bio, and so these are the usual questions I ask all the comics that I've always interviewed. There's like 1,000 interviews on the YouTube channel.
Nice.
With that being said, like, what's your what inspired you to perform stand-up comedy?
The first time I was just really interested, and when I started listening to comedians like, Brian Regan, Jim Gaffigan, John Mulaney, Aziz Ansari, Patton Oswalt, like all these guys, I was just really interested in it, and I didn't really know how it worked. But when I discovered, like my first performances, my early days when I got like, bit by stand-up, got the bug, I was doing like talent shows for my church and for my school, just doing whatever silly jokes and material I could think of. And then eventually I learned about the open mics and the comedy scene that was really close by. So that's when I discovered like Fort Collins scene. Back then we had a weekly comedy open mic on Thursdays in Greeley at a bar called Outriders. And I started going to that, and I was like the youngest one there, and just getting my feet wet, trying to figure it out. But it kind of like, I felt like I wasn't doing terrible, and I probably was pretty bad, but I was doing good enough that it encouraged me to keep going, keep doing it, and keep getting better at it. So that's kind of what inspired me to do it, is just because I saw how cool it was and how cool it could be. So I just wanted to be a part of it.
Most definitely. Indeed. And what inspired you to, or what was the feeling like when you first performed stand-up?
What was it like when I first performed? When I
The
got
feeling like,
started?
or what was it feeling like?
Oh, the feeling. Well, when you're, I feel like a lot of people can relate to this, but like, when you're first starting out, you feel pretty invincible, and you feel like you're, because you have so much, like, it takes so much courage and so much adrenaline to get started, and you only have 5 minutes, like you only have like a handful of jokes, so it feels really good, and usually they're not bad, like usually like your first jokes you get where you were inspired, like maybe you've been keeping them in your back pocket for a while, and so you start out, you start running your 5 minutes, and so it feels pretty good for a while, and like you feel pretty because you don't know how bad you are yet, because you're so lost in your own head that you're just thinking about the jokes when you're on stage, and you're not really listening very well. And then pretty soon, like everybody hears your jokes, and you got to come up with new stuff, and that's when because I'm sure you're familiar with that graph where it goes like, it's, what's it called? I think there's like 4 boxes where it's like, in uninformed optimism, which is where you're like super optimistic, but you have no idea where you actually land. And then it moves into informed pessimism or uninformed pessimism, where you're like, oh, maybe this is a little bit harder than I thought it was. And then you reach the point of despair, which is like uh, something else pessimism, like informed pessimism or something like that. But that's where you're like, how bad you are, and you don't know how you're going to get better. And then you kind of have to push through that and get to the other side, which is like informed optimism, which is where you're like, okay, like I kind of get how this works now. And it's not as easy as I thought it was, but I know I know what the process is. So I can try to repeat that, and I will get better if I put in the work, but it's not going to be easy, So I feel like that's the wave that a lot of us go through multiple times in our career. Like it's not just one big swoop. Like you go up and down like a lot, where you're like on top of the world, like, hey, I'm getting booked. Hey, this material feels good. And then pretty soon it's like, oh, the gigs are drying up. I don't have any good ideas for any new jokes right now. But if you keep writing and keep pushing and keep showing up to mics, you'll get booked again. You're around, things will feel better. Things will turn around.
Big time. It's all about the hustle. So,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Trust the
what are your
process.
favorite? Absolutely, trust the process. And what are your favorite comedy specials, comedy records, and comedy podcasts?
Oh yeah. I really like The Comeback Kid by John Mulaney and Dangerously Delicious by Aziz Ansari. I have both those on vinyl. Those are like national comics, but like local comics, I love like Adam Kane Holland. I have Signature Bits on vinyl. What else do I like? I like Sam Talent, one of the greats. Who else is there? I like a lot of people, man. There's a lot of good stuff right now. Mike Birbiglia is one of my favorite storytellers and joke writers, for sure. Those are just the classics, but like there's a lot of like up and coming people that I'm a huge fan of. I'm just trying to think of like some other ones that have come out recently, because there's so much. There's so many good ones, but those are like the big ones for me. Or those guys for sure.
Most definitely.
Big influences for me.
Absolutely. And the comedy podcasts?
Comedy podcasts, I really like, let's see, local ones. There's Recreational Outrage. Shout out Dylan Cantor and Evan Fitzgerald. Bigger podcasts, I like Two Bears, One Cave with Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer. I like You're an Idiot with Jeffrey Asmus. Let's see. I have them right here on my Spotify. Help with Hannah Jones and Calvin Reed. That's a local one. That's pretty good. Oh, You Made It Weird with Pete Holmes. And Pete Holmes, I also want to add to my list of like the big ones that I really like. Pete Holmes, but that's one of my favorite pods for sure too.
Good stuff. I just saw Bert Kreischer with the Fully Loaded Comedy Festival like this past Sunday, so it was pretty rad.
Oh, cool. Hell yeah.
With like Big J and stuff.
Oh, nice. That must have been awesome.
Good times. Oh, it was fantastic. I it was pretty neat to see. Like I was hoping like they like Big J would have a longer set, but they all did like 10 minutes, and Bert did like 20, 30 or something. So
That was pretty
because there's
cool.
so many comics in the bill. So yeah,
Yeah,
not bad.
totally. Yeah.
And so like Pete Holmes was on Crashing, and I want to know what your favorite sitcom, sketch shows, and comedy films are.
Yeah, I love Crashing for sure. I love Atlanta with it's not quite in the same sphere as those other guys, but like, Don Glover, Childish Gambino, like I'm just a huge fan of his work, and like he had one special come out, but like I like that show. I like artsy shows like where it's like it doesn't fit into like one style of TV. Like it's very story based, and it's got a lot of like thematic elements to it, and maybe it's a little bit absurd. And if it has a good cast, I'm a huge fan of that. What else? I think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson. That's a great sketch show. Back in the day, I used to like the early days of YouTube. Like I liked Julian Smith. He made a lot of good sketches that I liked. Who else? What other shows? Man, because I crank through them so fast and then I forget about them. Right now, I'm watching Rami with Rami Youssef. That's another one. It's kind of in the same, family as Atlanta, but I really like that show because it's got a lot of personal elements to it, kind of like Crashing does, where it's kind of like it's got some real life stuff in it. It's funny and it's by a comedian, and I like Rami Youssef's stand up too. It's pretty good. It's really insightful. It's kind of similar to Birbiglia too. What else is there? There's I don't know. What are some of yours?
I'm an old school guy, so like sitcom is Martin is like my top
Okay.
favorite. Sketches and Living Color. And comedy film is Tommy Boy.
Okay, nice. Very
Yeah.
cool. I just watched Ricky Stenicki on Prime. That was a pretty funny comedy film. It was John Cena, Andrew Santino, and Zac Efron.
Oh,
it was really funny.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, really good cast. Yeah, I liked it a lot. I thought it was pretty funny.
I'm surprised you can see John Cena because the rest of us can't. So it's his whole.
Yeah. Yeah, I got the special subscription so that I could watch him.
Good stuff. Good stuff. We're approaching the 2-minute warning because I promised I'd only keep it for 25. So
Okay.
If you want, we can do like a rundown, like a quick lightning round of them for the next questions. And
sure, let's do that.
Let's see. If you can go on tour with any local or international comics, which comics would you like to go on tour with?
Oh, that's a great one. Sam Talent for sure. There's a couple of people, maybe like Brant Tobler or somebody, or like, did you say local or international?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I like Jeffrey Asmus a lot. He's going to be coming to the Fort Collins soon, and I think it would be cool to work with him and do some shows with him. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, good stuff. And if you can get roasted by 5 comedians, top 5 dead or alive, which comics would you like to get roasted by?
Get roasted by Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, Bill Hicks, who else? Robin Williams, and Tony Hinchcliffe.
Sweet. And where do you see your comedy journey in the next 5 years?
Next 5 years. So this year I'm working towards building my 45 minutes to an hour, and kind of looking to cultivate more local headlining shows, getting more like 25, 30-minute spots. And then next year, I'll have more PTO to work with. And I have some other like film projects I'm working on right now as well. I just got done shooting a film locally in Colorado with some local filmmakers, and it's a full feature. So there's probably going to be a premiere somewhere. Maybe it'll get entered into some festivals. So that, I don't know, who knows? Maybe that'll open the doors for me to travel a little bit, and I can do some stand up while I'm out there. But I definitely am going to be traveling a lot more, hitting the road, just building my hour and building just a good body of work that I can take on the road and that I can work with and that I can turn into something really great and special. So that's what I want. I just want to build that hour, and I just want to be a working comedian. I want to be a headliner
For
in the
sure.
next 5
There was
years,
like
for
three
sure.
left, but nice. There's like three questions left, but we can skip those if you like.
No, I got a
Because
couple minutes. We can do the last three.
cool, awesome. What's your favorite joke a comic has written?
My favorite joke a comic has written. Man, I really love. So one of the things that got me into stand up was uh, the Salt and Pepper Diner bit by John Mulaney. I was dying at that. Oh, Dimitri Martin is another one I want to put up there. One of his earlier albums, I think it's like These Are Jokes. That had me like, I was like working on a project in high school, and it was like really late at night, and I was laughing so hard I had to like cover my mouth to keep myself from waking up my family because it was so funny. But yeah, those are some of my favorite bits and albums of all time.
Sweet, good stuff. And what experience would you like your audience to take with them after a set is over?
Just feeling better and lighter and less stressed, I guess, because like that I need that too, but man, I think everybody needs that. And like sometimes it's just a release, it's like a relief. And like you know like last night, like yesterday, I've had some other like stuff going on, so like it was just kind of bothering me and bogging my brain down. And last night I just went and saw a local show with my friends, and that just like it's one of my favorite shows. It's the All Fours comedy show, hosted by some local comics here, and it was just so funny. And like they're some of my favorite local comedians, and it just really like helped me forget about all the complicated work stuff going on and stuff. So that was nice. That's what I want people to feel, is just like they can kind of relax a little bit and forget about their problems for a little bit.
Heck yeah, dude. And so this is the stand up speakeasy. It's a secret society of stand up comics. And which comics in your circle would you like to be? Like 5 of them, if you like. Would you like to see on a future episode of the stand up speakeasy?
um, I'll just shout out the guys from the show that I went to last night. So it's All Fours Comedy Show. It's Adam Gilliland, Jake's Pizza, Evan Joe, and Spaghetti Jake. Like all 4 of those dudes. I love the work that they're doing. I love seeing them do what they do, and yeah, I'd love to see more stuff with them in it for sure.
For sure. You'll have to help me out with the spelling then with their names and their
Yeah, totally.
Awesome. And let's see, do you have any shows coming up?
Yeah, check out Stella's every Thursday in Greeley. We have one more show tomorrow, and then we're taking a 2-week break because the Greeley Stampede happens every year, and it kind of shuts us down for a little bit. And then one of the Thursdays falls on the 4th of July. But we're going to come back swinging on July 11th with Ben Roy headlining. So that's going to be really super fun. So catch me at that. That's my thing that I'm running right now. So come check that out. And check out my podcast, Stretch Yourself, on Spotify.
Absolutely. It's in your link tree, right? Because I put it in the bottom of below.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I believe it is. Yeah.
Sweet. So good stuff. And as for me, I have Wednesday tonight at the Nog in Daytona Beach, Terranoga Irish Pub. I'm just closing it out as an open micer. And then Friday, Vape Florida in Melbourne, and New Shiloh's Christian Center. I'm doing my first 7-10 church show on Sunday.
Nice.
Yeah,
That'll be fun, dude.
Heck yeah, bud. Thank you so much for being my guest and on the show. And I know you got to run. So shout out to Blowback Gallery for having Strathfest this year and seeing you there July 19th or 18th, 19th, and 20th. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome, Jared. Thanks for being my guest.
Thank you, Sareth. We'll see you soon, okay?
See you soon. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. And for everyone else, take care. Get home safe and enjoy a comedy show. And thanks to Quan's Kitchen and K Nails and Spa for free food and pedicure and manicure too. All right, see you later. Be well. Take it easy.